Welcome back to another drive. I am leaving an appointment here in a place called Issaquah, and what I want to see is on this build, can we get all the way down to my house with minimal interaction? So it's all up on the screen. I'm putting it right now in full self-drive, so the car is now completely in control of everything. It says navigate on autopilot is ending in 50 feet. Why would it be saying that? Okay, now it's taking over again into full self-drive. Interesting. So it started off in navigate and autopilot and then changed over to full self-drive. Very interesting. So I'm still on the build that the majority of people are on, the 10.11.2. I know that the 10.12.1 is out. And why are we stopping here right now? I guess we're just going really cautious up to the stop sign. I wanted to start it right here, the drive, because we're in this really tight area here in actually Snohomish. Let's see if it makes this turn here. So we're going, there's curbs on our right. Oh man, yes, look at this. Navigating these cars, we're getting super close to them, but it's swerving into the gaps just beautifully and got up to this light. That was so impressive. All right, here we are at the light now. Car is gonna go, there we go, and get back on the main road. So like I said, this is not on the latest build on the full self-drive. This is on the 10.11.2, and I'm gonna just put it right at the speed limit here. I do not want to be going any over here. So also you might be noticing that I have the new screen installed in my car. There's going to be a video coming out on this. In fact, I don't know which one came out first, that video or this drive. Probably this drive, but if not, make sure you go back and watch the video on this. It is absolutely phenomenal. Probably the coolest thing I've installed in my car to date. This thing works just flawlessly, and I'm going to turn on Waze right here. So I got Waze running. It's just it's a fast, very good system. Now I know you can't really see the screen or anything in your angle, and that's fine. You guys can check it out in the install video, but yeah, pretty cool stuff right there. So what we got going on here is we're gonna be heading through this town here. It's gonna get onto a freeway, we're gonna go over a mountain pass, and then we're gonna go pick up a bike tire. So this is like, you know, the question, can your car drive you to your destination? Well, this is like literally what we're attempting today. And you guys do see now in the bottom of the screen there, we have interactions, and then we have disengagements, and then we also have a score. So if you've been around the channel for, well, ever, 2 years ago when we started all this, we did something called the Rate This Drive Challenge, and it's really what we built this channel on. And what we did is we got in the car, and as the car did things that were good, we increased the score, and as we did things that were were not so good, we decreased the score. Now what we're doing is we're starting off with a perfect score of 10. And how this is gonna work is if I have to disengage autopilot for any reason, or in my case, full self-drive for any reason, that is a 2-point hit against the score. If it does something that is sketchy, but that I am like, the car does not disengage, I just have to like send the report to Tesla, then that's a knock of 1. But it's gonna start with a perfect score because it generally does pretty good. And then what'll happen is if the car does do something that's like really awesome, it can kind of earn its points back. But the main thing is, can we get a perfect 10 score? That's the overall, thought process of the scoring system. And then it goes down from there as things start to happen. So it works. It's really exciting because so many of these drives I get a 10 on. I mean, it just goes flawlessly. So we're going to see what this one does. So it needs to be able to go from main arterial like this, which doesn't really seem like a main arterial, but it technically is, all the way onto a freeway, into a city, taking off ramps, and then parking me, well, getting me into the parking lot of our destination. So here we are coming up to a light, and this is where the transition to the highway begins. So we'll stop at this light, and then once the light turns green, we will then be switching at some point over to just regular auto steer, regular autopilot found on any other vehicle, or I guess it would be called navigate and autopilot, except it won't be doing any changing around cars or anything for the most part. So a little bit slow getting off the line there. I would like to have seen the car go a little bit faster, but definitely wasn't something that was dangerous or a reason to, knock down the score. And then right here we have a merge, but we're not going to be dealing with anyone else coming on here. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty easy merge. And then it goes 45. So like typically right here, people would be already accelerating to 45 to get ready for this. But because the car won't do it until it passes the speed limit sign, it's going to just go really slow. And people are stacking up behind me, wondering why in the world I'm not going 45, because it's, see now though, now it'll actually go. I'm going to spin it up to 50. And then when we pass this speed limit sign here at 55, we'll go up to 60 miles per hour. But that's one of those things that when you're driving on full self-drive, you have to just sort of get used to, or autopilot, I guess. Auto steer, navigate and autopilot, whichever one you're using, because the car is going to only do to the letter of the law what's right. So like we're back there, you would typically accelerate a lot sooner than the 45 mile an hour speed limit sign. The car is not going to do that. So it's a little bit of uncomfortable type setting. But on the other hand, you wouldn't want the car to take it upon itself to start speeding when that's not the speed limit. So it's really nothing you can do about it. Okay, that was really weird. So the car basically just started beeping at me here, as if I was going over a line. That beeping noise that you just heard usually occurs when you're about to cross over the fog line or the separating yellow line there, but that none of those things happened. It just sort of came on. We now got the right blinker on. We're going to stay in the slow lane, and so we should see the car here pass this semi fairly quickly. I'm not sure how slow it's going to go. We're 10 under the speed limit right now. Okay, we're 15 under my max speed now, and now it's going to go for it now that there's a car there. So it should have done that a very long time ago, but it didn't. And you know what we need to do right now is we need to actually check as we make this pass here. We need to check what my settings are at for this. So if we go into our settings here and we go into autopilot, I have it on assertive, so that's the most aggressive passing mode. Although we still are on full self-drive. The car doesn't recognize that it's actually on a highway right now. If it did, then this would not be in navigate and autopilot or full self-drive. It would be in navigate and autopilot. So what we actually have to do is come in here and look and see what the settings are, which is on the average. So let's put that to Mad Max. So that's going to make sure that we very quickly get around the other vehicles. So those different settings, they match different systems in the car. At some point here, closer to the top, it's going to switch over to regular autopilot or navigate on autopilot, where it does pass cars and stuff still on freeways if you had the full self-driving system paid for. But right now it hasn't done that, so you got to make sure you adjust the right setting. And there it is. That's what I was talking about. We've now just converted over into navigate on autopilot setting. So now you'll be using the settings, the second setting that we adjusted, the aggressive version of it, the Mad Max, is now what it would be. So here the car has to decide if it's going to stay in the fast lane or go over into the turn lane. And what it does, because it doesn't see any clear road line in the middle, is it just drives directly down the center. And that's another one of those things that you have to kind of get used to, is that it's kind of awkward and other people look at you like, what is this guy doing? But the car just saw it as one gigantic lane centering itself between the fog line and the yellow line. And it's just sort of what it does for now. And then eventually will pick its own path there. Okay, now we're coming right up on this car here to the right, and he needs to get over, and we're going to see what the car actually does here. So the car is going to actually barely slow down. It didn't even really slow down. It actually made this guy speed up, which is like, come on, man, you're merging. Like, you can't come right up beside a car. But technically, what we should have done to be polite is get over into the fast lane, and then we could have gotten back over again later. So, you know, who's to say it's at fault there? I don't know. But for me driving, I would have gotten over, so he had plenty of room and then gotten back over. But the car is not programmed to do that right now. Right now, it's just going to slow down or speed up. Mostly to slow down to let a car in. And so what I'm doing right now is I need to go to this bike shop. And so I've already got a destination in, but because of waypoints now, I can go in and I can type in the bike's name. I need to double check real quick the name of this place. Northwest Bicycle. So North WST, and we'll just see if it's in here. Northwest Bicycle, so right there. So I'm going to tap on that. That is now my new destination. See, all of a sudden now that it took over, re-navigating, and it's now back in control. I'm going to slide this up on the screen real quick here, and that'll get it all rolling again here. That's going to make me take this next exit, and now we have two destinations in on our navigation. The first one being my first stop for the bike, the second one being my house. So here the car goes, it takes the exit, and you guys remember, I have never one time yet in any way intervened with autopilot. I haven't pressed on the accelerator, I haven't hit the brake, I haven't disengaged it. The car has gotten me out of the parking lot. All I did was back out of my stall, because it can't do that yet, and the car has driven me all the way here to Maple Valley, about 20 miles, without me having to do anything whatsoever. Okay, pretty impressive. And I know that the new build, the 10.12.1, is even more impressive than this one. So this is good. So far, doing great. So we're going to be taking left at this light here, and then the car needs to get over quickly to the far right lane so we can take the next exit and get in that and turn right. So let's see how this goes here. There's our green light. Car is accelerating much better this time, sort of. We're gonna take this little, see, here's a car that's really, okay, so it did swerve a little bit further away, I like that, but it took the closest lane, drove 100 feet or so, got over, like it's supposed to do, following the law there, and that was actually very smooth. I really like that. And let's see what it's gonna do here. So we're gonna take the far right lane in the middle of an intersection. That was not good. Let me send that to Tesla. You definitely are not supposed to change lanes in the middle of an intersection, especially not right in front of a cop station. Come on, Tesla, you gotta look around first before you do stuff like that. So now what's gonna happen is we're in this little city here, and we're gonna have the car go to the end, about 2.8 miles to our 2.7 miles to our next turn. But the car is going to have to navigate the city. It's going to have to navigate a merge, maybe even next to a dump truck. But this should be no problem for the car. This is well within what it's able to do, and it still ought to score of 10. Very, very impressive. And if you see me touch my steering wheel a few different times, this scroll button right here, this wheel, is just for speed. So I'm just telling it it's okay to go 5 over. In my area, if you don't go 5 over, you pretty much get like assassinated. So, you know, I don't really want to get assassinated. Okay, now this lane ends right here. We're passing the sign right now that says merge left. So we're going to see how long it takes a Tesla to figure that out. Here is now the dotted line and telling me that we are in a turn only lane. There's my blinker. And we're getting out of it right here at the very, very possible last second. And then it jumps up to 45 miles an hour. I just moved it to 50. So it did do it when it realized it was in that lane. And it just, you know, the problem with what it did there, and I'm going to send that just in case, was that if there was cars lined up beside me, I mean, I wouldn't have made it. I would have had to have turned into that neighborhood and rerouted. So that's the big bummer on those kind of situations, and we do see that in a lot of different situations with the full self-drive going on. But you know, that kind of thing can be ironed out over time. It's just the car needs to know that the lane it's in is ending before it sees the lane markings. Then it would be able to handle it. I think right now it's just reading the lane as it's in it and having to figure itself out. So we just passed a speed limit sign that was warning us it was dropping, and now it actually drops directly as we pass the sign. And it's keeping me 5% over the speed limit, which is what 37 is of 35. And so, you know, you can set that in your settings if you want it to be 5% over or 5 over or whatever setting you want. I think that 5% is pretty good. I mean, 5 over on low speeds is quite a bit. 5% over isn't. So we'll see. Now, here you can see the turn. And it's through this light. So, I mean, if it was me driving right now, I would get over into the right turn lane, or the right lane, not a turn lane, so that I was ready when the turn actually came, versus waiting to the last second and trying to get over 2 different lanes. So we're going to see what the Tesla decides to do. Hopefully it does the right thing here, at least right thing in my mind with the way I drive. And here it is, perfect. And it's going to wait until we're through the intersection. Oh, it canceled itself. No, it didn't. Here we go. And it's going to get over. So went through the intersection there and made the decision not to go in that intersection, which is great. And so this is good. So right as soon as we get to this light right here, it should turn right into there. Let's hope we don't bounce all over the curb. And then it should be great. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be a perfect 10 drive. Come on. I know we got this. I know we got this. All right. And here we go. We're getting close there now. So we got, it's not this turn, but the next one coming up here where that truck turned in is where we got to go. And it's a pretty tight turn. So we got to get that blinker on, or I guess it's not going to go in that one. Okay, so which one is it going into? It must be the main entrance up here. So we got the blinker on to turn right. This is a lot wider of a turn. I don't disagree with that decision the car made. And there's a speed bump. We did not slow down for. It was a much smaller one. Here's another speed bump. Let's see what the car does. Okay, it does slow down for this one. Maybe it did slow down for that last one. We were going pretty slow to start with. And now we're going to make the turn here. How great is this going to be, though, when the car can pull itself into a parking stall as well? So that's it. I mean, we are now directly in front of the bike shop. And so I'm now going to tap the brake and take over. And we now can sign off on an absolutely perfect 10 out of 10 drive. So all you haters out there that say it's impossible, 0 interactions, 100% success, dental office all the way to the bike shop, 20-some mile drive, no issues, no disengagements, awesome drive. See you all in the next one.